Hey guys, welcome. How's everybody doing today? All good? Everybody okay? Hope everybody's doing really well. Today's a good day for me. And we're back after a week that we weren't around. I don't know if you guys even noticed, but we weren't here last week. And I got a good excuse. And I'll let you know what that is. First, I want to welcome everybody to the Sunday show. Please let me know if you can hear me. I don't want to be talking to myself here. So if you can hear, if the sound is good, give me a thumbs up. And we'll start the show. Showtime. It is showtime. Welcome everybody. So hope you guys are doing. Hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to Addicted to Gear, the channel where we're primarily focused on reviewing and showcasing music gear, and then on Sundays we take an opportunity to go live and to chit chat with our viewers, and you guys are what this show is all about. And we take the opportunity to answer questions. So I mentioned this in my videos from time to time, but if you guys are new and you don't know exactly what to expect, it's basically about, I don't know, an hour and a half, 2 hours, depending on how things roll, of gear talk. Jack, I do have a good excuse. So just for the newcomers here, we're usually live every Sunday. Every Sunday, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Now, last Sunday, I wasn't around. And I'll explain, okay, guys? Give me a moment. I just want to make sure everybody's here. Yeah, I'm wearing my meh shirt today because that's how I feel. Like I feel kind of meh still. It's been a rough week for me, man. Last week I was out with some kind of digestive issues. I don't know. I just felt like crap. So I was gonna do the show anyways, but I was like really had a rough night and I was wrecked. So I ended up canceling the show last minute, and but I'm back here today, so we're gonna be chit chatting about cool stuff. And I did get checked out. Everything they tell me is good, even though you don't feel good. Then go home. You're fine. You know, they did a couple of tests. Gave me a huge bruise where I told them not to shove the needle after I warned them and don't put the needle there. They did it anyways. And then they gave me a nice shot here twice, for tests. But it's all good. It's all good. I don't know if it's just something going around, man, but I've been trying to eat less and stay away from junk food and do all that kind of stuff. It's great for the diet because I lost almost 10 pounds over the last week. So it's fantastic for that. But, that's not the way I want to do it. So anyways, I hope you guys are doing better than me. That's my excuse. That's my story. I'm sticking with it. Good morning to everybody here. Jack, good morning. I'm just going to go through the little comments you guys left while you were waiting. Wayne, good morning. Coffee and weed for Wayne. Billy Beers, good morning. Wayne says he sold my friend's 19-year-old son his first guitar and amp. I'm so happy knowing the seed I planted is well germinated. That is indeed a nice feeling, isn't it? I'm always happy to help anybody that's jumping into music, anybody that's jumping into guitars. Want to lead them off into the right path. Recently, I helped a friend of mine's son. He was looking for a guitar and an amp combo, and I gave him some suggestions, and I hope he's going to enjoy them. Gary's here. Good morning. Mark is here. Mark's at work. He works on Sundays. That sucks, Mark. As long as you enjoy your job, man, that's the good thing. Cheers, everybody. Just a little bit of water. All right. So Eddie's here. Randy. I'm just going to jump down the list. Jack. Um, Mark says no new gear for him this week. It's been too long. Well, there's a couple of interesting things that are out. We'll talk about those today. A couple of things to maybe wet your whistle. Quicksilver says, hi Don P. It's me, Don P. is here too. Quicksilver says, anyone seen the Harley Benton 25th anniversary Hoopla video? Teaser video. I'm thinking Harley Benton Mod Shop. Anyone else? So I wanted to talk about that too today. Yeah, they are teasing that something's going to drop, I think, on the 30th. And from what we can tell from the videos, they look like a series of like gold guitars, but we're not quite sure what. It would be cool if they're doing a mod shop. That would be cool. So you can maybe mix and match and get what you want. That would be really interesting. But we'll only be able to find out on the 30th, I believe. Randy says, Tony, sir, greetings to you and all my world brothers. Happy to be together again. I'm happy to be here too, man. It's been too long. 2 weeks is too long, I find. I was considering maybe jumping to a 2 week, every 2 week schedule. You know, like once, instead of once every week, once every 2 weeks. But I'm thinking that's going to be too long. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm just jumping around in the comments, guys. All right. Mark says that's how he feels this week. Oh, no, man. I hope not. I hope you're not feeling that way. Quicksilver says at the proctologist, right? No, luckily it wasn't a proctologist. Luckily. Thank God. That's why you want to select a doctor that has skinny fingers, just in case. Just in case. Rico, I'm getting there, man. Not 100%, but the needle's moving in the right in the right direction at least. Mark is seeing Springsteen tomorrow. My dad's favorite. Awesome, dude. Yeah, my sister's revved to see Springsteen too. She's in Europe, but she's already got her tickets. Should be an awesome show. The guy's a hell of a performer. I give him that. I mean, if anyone gives 110%, it's him. He's definitely... Have you ever seen some of his live videos on YouTube where he's doing his shows? The guy's drenched by the time the show is like over. Like he's soaking wet. Like not sweating. I'm talking dripping. Like, you know, like as if somebody threw a bucket of water on him or something. Mark says he's in the nosebleeds. Hopefully he can see the amps. Bring binoculars, dude, just in case. It's always good. I always do that. When I go to a show, I always bring some binoculars just in case so I can check out the pedal boards. If I'm lucky. Good morning, Peg City Pickups. Good morning, Alan, Donald B23. Good St. Brando. Good morning, Tony. Funny thing, last week I had a question for you and the weird world of social media and algorithms. I was going to say that you have a great guitar collection, but you're missing an SG. I'm not missing an SG anymore. I ended up getting one. And to be honest, I don't know why I waited so long, guys. This is brand new. SG 61 SG. It's obviously a repro. It's not going to be an actual 1961 original, but it's the 61 version. And it sounds great, man. I love it. And I don't know why it took me so long to get one, but the neck on this thing's amazing. It reminds me a lot of the neck on my 335, actually. It's slim taper, but it's great. I wasn't sure if I dig the pickups, but I love them. Pickups sound great. I bought it used. It was brand new. Brand spanking new, man. The guy, I mean, there's not a ding on it. There's still the tags on the case. He still has all the all the candy that comes with it, and the guy barely played it. He was honest with me, and it's like it's a brand new guitar. I got a heck of a deal on it. So I'm going to be playing this thing quite a bit. I'm loving it. It's extremely light. I thought it would have neck dive, but it doesn't really have neck dive. It's nicely balanced. That's what I was concerned about. It was basically the neck dive the pickups a little bit. I like this, the 57 Classics, and these are not 57 Classics. The only other mod that was made to the guitar is 50s wiring. That's about it. And this is the model that does not have the PC board in it, thankfully, because I don't like the PC board. So, really nice. Love it. It's so easy to play. I'm really a dum-dum for not grabbing one sooner. I don't know. Yeah, I just had a mental block. Mark, you did have an influence on me. You did. I have to admit. You know, all that back and forth chit-chat, and it was a period when I was eyeballing SGs. It was on the radar, and then you popped up, and you got one and liked it so much, and I'm like, it just refreshed my my enthusiasm for getting one. So it's pretty cool. I can make you hear a little bit. It's got a nice drive on this thing. This is why I guess Carlos Santana was using that in the early days. So easy to play, you know. It's an awesome guitar. So I thank my gear addicted brothers out there that are bad influences on me, and you know, convinced me to get these things. But is there a question? Yes, Steven says, I bought an Alvarez 12-string acoustic thinking it was used, got it home and peeled the protected covering off the pickguard, smiled all day long. It is nice when that tape is still there. You know, when you buy something used and you peel off the tape. There's no tape on this, unfortunately. That was already taken off. Yeah, you're right, Mark. They do have a different flavor than the Les Pauls, but they are great and versatile guitars. And I'm glad I found a good one. A nice. I think my collection is getting there now. You know, it's getting there. I have the Strats, I have the Telecasters, Les Pauls, the hollow bodies, a nice SG. You know, a bunch of other things. But you know what I decided, guys? I'm slowly going to probably like go through some of the stuff that I don't really play as much. Maybe stuff that I could, I wouldn't feel bad getting rid of, and putting the money towards some nice quality instruments that I'm after. And just, you know, maybe thin down the herd a little bit, but go for quality, you know. But it's difficult. It is difficult. Quicksilver says, what's with all the neck dive complaints on SGs? What do you people do with your SGs? Just stand there without playing or handling the guitar? You're absolutely right. Most of the time you are playing the guitar. You are holding the guitar. But it is nice when you have it on your lap to be balanced, right? So it doesn't dive. You don't want it to dive. By accident, at least. MFN says, hi Tony, I've tried SGs a number of times, but I've not bought because my left hand feels too far out, but I want one. You know what? I understand what you're saying. Because of the location of, you know, where the neck meets the body, it is a little bit further out, but that makes it so easy to play. You know what? It's strange for about 10 minutes, and then you get used to it, honestly, you know. I don't think you have to worry about it that much. If that's the only reason why you're not getting one, I would say, yeah, definitely try that out. Tony, have you cranked the SG through your Friedman yet? I have not, Mark. I just got it. I got it yesterday. Yesterday afternoon. It's been, you know, I actually played it for, I don't know, half an hour, maybe an hour. So I haven't done the round robin with all the amps and everything, but I'm planning on doing that one. I'm going to be doing that soon. I'm just getting an opportunity for when there's like no one in the house so I can crank it. I can go through my Friedman patch on my my FM9 if you want, but you know, it just makes me want to play stuff like the classic stuff, like like. Stuff like that. It's just like so fun to play those kind of licks on this guitar. Fat Philosopher says, to me the SG seems too much offset to the side. Feels like I'm stretching out my fretting hand too much. Yeah, I mean, it's true. It is further out. It is. But it's an easy thing to get used to, honestly. Guys, it took me well over 30 years to actually get one. I did a review on the Epiphone version, and the Epiphone version is a good guitar, but it definitely feels different. Same with the 335. So I had the 335 Epiphone. I actually sold the 335 Epiphone. I sold that already. The reason why I sold it is because I have the 335 Gibson, which I feel sounds and plays better. So it was a little bit redundant. I bought that guitar mostly because I wanted a kick-around guitar. But I can honestly tell you that there is a difference in the feel between the Gibsons and the Epiphones. So they're not identical. I'm not saying the Epiphones are bad. I mean, for the amount of money you pay for them, they're really good guitars for everyday use. But if you're looking for that Gibson feel, you would have to go Gibson. And they are light, yeah. That's surprising to me, actually, how light these things are. I didn't weigh it yet. I have my scale here. Should I wait for you guys? Let me just do this live. Why not? I have not tried to weigh it, so let's wait. I'm curious, just like you, I guess. And I'd really love the smell of the nitro on this thing. That's how you can really tell if it's a real Gibson, is the smell. That kind of vanilla flavor smell on these guitars. Okay, so let's lift it up. Now hold on, I gotta zero it out first. Let me zero it out. All right, let's do it. 6.4. 6 pounds, 4 ounces. Pretty light. And that's what makes them comfortable too. And that's the reason why, guys like Angus chose these guitars, because he's a small dude, He needs something light so he can run around and do all his antics on stage. Green Rumor says, I promise I'll sell some guitars to pay for the SG. That's what I did, man. Just get rid of the stuff you're not playing. Randy says, Tony Batman called and he needs his guitar back. This one doesn't actually have the Batwing pickguard. The 61s only have the one. The ones that you're talking about have the pickguard that go on both sides. But yeah, it does look like a bat. Mark says, I used to gig with 2 Les Pauls and I used to gig with 2 Les Pauls and switched to a Les Paul and an SG, and the SG took over for a while. Yeah. Jeff says, I never had an SG before 2022. I got that same 61 last summer. And a Gibson I owe me a couple of weeks back. Awesome. I'll wait a while and get a junior. Yeah, those juniors are really popular, man. There's a lot of nice ones out there now with the P90s. Those look pretty nice. I wouldn't be surprised if eventually one of those guitars with a P90 might be something I'd gravitate towards. Jerry says, and he's answering MFN, you might be a Les Paul player. I have the same problem with SG guitars. Same here, guys. I've had that SG block for years. Paul says, Tony, I bought my SG Standard limited edition for a third of its value. The owner never played it and he passed away. I got it at an estate sale, bought to flip, but I plugged it and instant love. I wasn't expecting to love this guitar this much, honestly. I thought it would be like a secondary to my Les Pauls, but honestly, man, I'm enjoying playing this guitar. I'm not so far. Maybe it's just a honeymoon phase, guys, but I'm so far, I'm playing this more than my Les Pauls. So I don't know what that means, but it's interesting. I got to tell you a funny story, guys, because people are strange, man. This is going to be one of those venting shows, I think, for me, because I have a lot of things to vent about this week. So bear with me, guys. I got to get it out. Maybe that's why I'm getting stomach issues. I'm going to tell you a funny story. So, I've been looking for SGs, and once in a while, some nice ones pop up on the used market. So there was one guy who had an SG like this, a 61 for sale. Actually wasn't as clean as this one is. It was a little bit older. So it had some dings and some wear, but it still looked nice. And that one had 57 classics in it, which I like. So I ended up calling the dude, and I'm like, I'd like to come and see the guitar. I'd like to come and take a look. And he's like, well, there's already a couple of people that have that want it, that wanted to come see it. And I'm like, okay, are they coming today? And he's like, no, well, somebody's coming tomorrow and maybe the day after. So I'm like, well, I got money in my hand. I'm willing to come today. Isn't it like, first come, first serve, you snooze, you lose kind of thing? And he's like, no, like I've already, reserved it with someone else. Not reserved it, but, he was the type of guy that he's really a stickler for, like, first come, I guess, first call, first served. I don't usually work that way. For me, it's like I'm all for keeping something if you're giving me a deposit, if you're serious about it, if it's a done deal. But if somebody's just coming to kick the tires and you don't know whether or not it's going to be a deal or not, for me, it's first come, first serve, man. You got cash in your hands. You got priority. So I was a little bit miffed. But, like I always say, everything happens for a reason, guys, right? And if I would have gotten that one, I wouldn't have found this one. And this one is a lot nicer, a lot cleaner, mint condition, not one scratch on it. So it's like showroom condition. So I actually lucked out. So, don't sweat it. If something doesn't go your way, there's a reason. It's not meant to be, This guy, super dude, and worked out a really nice deal. Rex 10 seems to be new. I haven't seen you before. He says, hi everyone, just got in. Wife had me doing yard work, but I escaped. Yeah, you gotta fake a heart attack or something. Just tell your wife you gotta go lie down for a few minutes. St. Brando says, congrats on the SG. Tony, SG is the only Gibson guitar that was never discontinued. Yeah, that's true. Come to think of it, I didn't think of that. Okay, I'm gonna scroll down, guys. I know you guys have a lot of stuff here. I had a feeling someone was gonna mention that you should be playing some AC/DC. There's always some AC/DC in this guitar. I didn't want to be so blatant about it, but yeah, you kind of do have to do that AC/DC thing, right? Because if you don't, it's like you didn't listen to the guitar. There's I haven't played AC/DC in ages, so give me a break. I like the what's that? How did Have a Drink on Me go again? I'm thinking of ZZ Top now for some reason. I'm thinking of I don't know why, but yeah, those. Oh, I'm out of tune already. That's one thing. I think the guitar has brand new strings. And when you're bending like that, out of tune. Got to stretch these strings. So bear with me. Ben says, I have that SG with the lyre and have it my head. I need that one too. Please, someone tell me I don't. You don't. If you have the one, okay, I see what you mean. You have the one with the trim. Yeah. If you have the one with the trim, you're good. You don't need it. You don't really need it. Hey, who am I to say no? But that's the part of the reason that trem thing here is part of the reason why these knobs are so like grouped together, squished together here in the corner, and not spread out more like a 335 or a Gibson, is because of that. They had, it took a lot of room here, so they had to like move everything into the corner. So that's a fun fact for you guys. What gear am I playing through right now? I'm playing through my Fractal FM9. Fat Philosopher's $900 speed ticket. Highway robbery. No kidding. If you got a $900 speeding ticket, you could have got yourself a really nice guitar, or or maybe one of those bad monkeys. The world's going crazy. The world's going crazy. You know what? You guys probably know what's been going on with the bad monkeys. Yeah, that was last week, right? It blew up. People went bananas. Why? Because JHS released a video saying how the bad monkey sounds like all the best pedals. And not for anything, I had a bad monkey once upon a time. I sold it. I don't regret selling it. It wasn't a bad pedal, but people went bananas over this thing. No pun intended, And just because somebody's saying it's good, we don't even know if it's actually like, if the sound's been manipulated and stuff. I mean, they sound good in the videos, but who knows what they're doing in terms of post-processing. So now the price on these bad monkeys are reaching like $1,000. People have lost their mind. I don't know what's going on. It's funny because like if nobody wants it, nobody cares. If everybody, all of a sudden everybody wants it and it's a big hoopla. It's crazy. So have you guys, are some of you guys out there the proud owners of a bad monkey right now? Because if you are, honestly, and if you can get $1,000 for it, run all the way to the bank. I mean, the pedal's not worth $1,000, and grab the cash before people regain their senses. It doesn't make any sense. Do you guys agree with me on this, or am I the only one who's like, I don't get it? Are people that desperate to get like something good for cheap? But the whole point of the bad monkey is that it's cheap. It was inexpensive, right? It's a good, inexpensive pedal. And now people are going bananas because they think like, okay, I can get the same sound as a clone through, what they were selling for, under $100. Now they're selling for $1,000. That ship has sailed. I agree, Alan. The bad monkey should be spanked. Yeah, Brett did do that bad monkey comparison way back, but people weren't crazy back then. Just crazy. Anyway, Look, you know, people. There's a lot of famous people that have been using Bad Monkey pedal over the years. I think Steve Vai used to use that one at one point. I know Phil X, Gary Moore, a lot of other, you know, a lot of people. But you know, it was a $50 pedal. I would never spend that kind of money on a Bad Monkey or anything else. To be honest with you, you know, in terms of pedals, it just doesn't make sense. Yeah. So that's all I want to say about the Bad Monkey because it's just people have lost their minds. And there's one other thing I gotta say. I gotta get this off my chest because it's been bothering me. YouTube is going down the tubes, in my opinion. And I hate to say that because you know it's the platform that I use. But honestly, what's going on with people? There's a lot of people out there that I guess have realized that the easiest way to get likes and followers and subscribers is to show your ass. You know, to show your ass or flaunt your tits. Unfortunately, nobody wants to see my tits, but it's just sad that you know it's so blatantly done and people are falling for it, and these people have close to millions of followers or 500,000 followers, and there's zero content. There's nothing. you know, it's weird that that it works, and I'm surprised at people. And I feel like YouTube in the early days used to be people showing you how to do things, giving you tips, giving you tricks, and there's still people putting out that kind of content. There's still people doing it. But there's a lot of people that just fall into that trap of just clickbait videos that really have no substance and just waste your time. And at the end of the day, it's like I'm getting to the point where I feel like my time is more valuable than that. And it just bothers me. Again, maybe this is why I got stomach issues, It's like all these things were like, so I think you guys know who I'm talking about. I don't have to name names, but there's definitely people out there that are just milking it. And no pun intended. Listen, fat philosopher, I'd show you my tits, but I don't want to cause a riot. Before you know it, my subscribers are just going to skyrocket, and something's going to happen. Maybe for the anniversary show or something like that, I'll break out my Speedo. We'll see what happens. Mississippi Blues. Hey, Tony, I've been playing around all week with the HeadRush Prime. Great unit. Do you have any plans to review one? So I don't have the new HeadRush Prime. I did have the previous HeadRush. I'm a proud owner of the FM9 right now, so I don't think I'll end up buying HeadRush Prime. I may be able to get my hands on one for a review, and I would like to review it. How much did you pay for it, Mississippi Blues? What's the going price? I didn't look recently. But of course, it's going to make waves. A lot of people have been waiting for a new HeadRush unit. The HeadRush units are great. I think they're the thing that really makes them great units is that they do have a touch screen that's easy to use. It's not a deep learning curve. It might not have all the bells and whistles that you get with an FM9, but a lot of people don't want that because it actually is complicated and there is a learning curve, quite a steep learning curve actually with the FM9 stuff. So the Prime is great for that. It's affordable. I listened to a couple of video reviews on the unit. It reminded me of the HeadRush that I have. It definitely has that sound. The effects are nice. There's definitely a difference between, I think, the quality of the effects on the Prime and something like the Fractal. But again, you're not in the same price range. So, I would hope that there would be a difference. But a great unit nonetheless. Mark says, I'd rather see guitars than boobs. Well, the thing is, when you put guitars and boobs together, you have the magic formula. And a couple of people are taking that formula and running all the way to the bank with that. I won't name names, but you know who I'm talking about. Jerry says, I watched some mindless girl talk about her Brazilian wax on YouTube. Truly mindless. Maybe, but you watched. Yeah, so Mississippi Blues, you're going to like the unit. I think they made some really nice improvements on it. I know that they did put the auto-tune features in there, so if you want to sing with the unit, you have some vocal editing capabilities as well with it, which I think is smart. Excuse me. Rico, you don't know who I'm talking about? Just Google it, man. You'll see. Quicksilver says, I don't think JHS realizes that he's now the Oprah of pedals. I don't think he intended that, but it's, you know what? I'm going to say he maybe didn't intend to cause such uproar, but I think he knew that something was going to happen, and I think he's just laughing about it. He's probably laughing just like I am and thinking, like, how ridiculous can people be that they're so, like, attached to what one person says, you know, that they're gonna run out and buy these pedals, and it's just it's a funny thing, man. The Nine, did the SG come with a nice case? It did come with a case. I can show you that. It's right here. I can show you. Original Gibson case. As I mentioned, it still had the tags on it. You know, when you get a case that still has the tags on it, you know it's a fresh case. And you know how I can tell that it's a brand new case? Sorry guys, give me a second here. You know how I can tell it's a brand new case? It doesn't really stay open really well. You know when a case is brand new, the lid hasn't been opened enough to get over past that vertical point where it stays open like that. It tends to close. That's how I know it's brand new. It's, you know, hasn't been opened very much. Stefan says, I hear you. I see a lot of female guitarists getting more views because they show cleavage, not because they're... No, exactly. It's all about cleavage. You know, I'm gonna start wearing my shirt down here like that. Start playing the guitar with my boob over the little thing there. Presley, California Customs. I get that chick. She's always shredding a PRS in a super thin, tight top. I'm a fan. So you know who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about. All right. I'm not going to name names, Gene. But if you know who I'm talking about, you know, then great. Everybody's going to go over to the channel now and subscribe. I know it. You guys are it's gonna backfire on me, and you guys are gonna be subscribing. I'm gonna see the stuff going up. Oh well, okay. Alan says, are you gigging with the Fractal? Yes, I am, and it's sounding great through the HeadRush FR speaker. I gotta get another one. I would love to go stereo. Right now I'm going mono, just one. But this thing begs to do stereo, so I gotta get another one. I don't want to carry so many things, you know. It's hard to carry two FR speakers, the HeadRush, a guitar, you know, a bag with cables and all that. I'm gonna need a roadie pretty soon. But yeah, I would definitely get another one of those FR speakers. Mandolin Dan says, keep posting FM9 videos, Tony, please. Yes, I will. I will. It's in the works. So what else did I get with the guitar? I got a strap. That was in the case. Not a good strap, but it's a Gibson strap. It's okay. It's good to have an extra strap if you need one. Not the best, but it's free. I got... a key. What do you call these? A little pick holder with actual picks in there. Wow, there's picks in there. I didn't even know that. One of these little keychain pick holders. It's actually from Diplomat, so I guess that's where the guitar was originally purchased from. Oops. And a few Diplomat picks. I'll throw that in my pick collection. Gibson goodie bag. I don't know what's in here. I haven't even looked in here yet, guys. So let's see. What do we get in here? Kind of like an unboxing. Owner's manual. Okay. Wow, I didn't know that I needed a... That's a pretty thick owner's manual for one guitar. Interesting. Talk about the tailpiece, the special features. There's no special features on this guitar. Oh, it says if your guitar features push-pull pots. There's no push-pull pots on this guitar. A Gibson thing to blow your nose. A little hanky. And something else in the bag. One of these Gibson all-in-one tools. That's cool. It's good to have in your case in case you need to do some adjustments. And then, of course, we have the. Why is there a photo here? There's a photo of the guitar. I guess the original owner took the photo of the guitar, kept it in there. Maybe for other reasons, I don't know. And of course we have the hang tag with the date that it was made, the serial number, who was inspected by, and who it was packed by. So basically everything you get with a brand new guitar. All I got on my guitar case was the receipt and sold the tag. I guess they were cheaper back in the 70s and the 80s. Could be. Mark says, sorry, I'm scrolling backwards here, guys. So I don't know where, if I'm gonna miss some. So Surfer By says you end up selling that Supersonic. No, it's right there. Supersonic, still there. Mandolin Dan says, is your FR the 10 or the 12? It's actually the 10, Dan. The 10 has plenty of low end, and I felt the 12 would be bigger and more cumbersome for no reason. I don't need the 12. And it's going to be a lot, maybe too much bass. BC Rich 581 says social media is an asshat parade. I'm not on any of the social platforms and I have no regrets about any sense of not being able to see an Instagram image or video. So true. I just saw something and I couldn't agree more. Somebody was saying that somewhere in the world there's somebody without a phone sitting by a waterfall, not knowing what he should be worrying about. That's what we're coming to. You know, we're getting mind washed. We're getting brainwashed by all of the social media. I'm telling you, they're just manipulating us little by little, and we're just following it and swallowing it, and it's sad. Dan in New Jersey says Gibson always provides a baby picture of the guitar on the bench before it was shipped. Is that what that is? Is that what that is? I think you're right. I think you're right. Yeah. Well, I see a keyboard with an American flag sticker on it, and it looks like, you guys tell me. See the keyboard here? Keyboard right there. And it looks like that's probably at Gibson. You guys are right. Interesting. I did not know that. You see, I'm learning something from you guys. I'm learning something every day. This is why I like these live shows, because you guys know what you're talking about. You know your stuff. Jeff says, I made the error of buying the 12-inch FR using it as a band PA now. It's overkill. I'm telling you. Maybe you can sell it and you know, end up getting the smaller ones. Mandolin Dad says, makes sense. I'm currently running my FM9 through the power amp input of my Katana MK12100 amp. Dan, I think you're going to like it more if you play it through either an FR speaker. What I do sometimes here, I have, you can't see, but I have two Mackie studio monitors here on my desk. They have 8-inch woofers on them, and they sound glorious. This thing through the thing in stereo, just blaring it right in my face. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. John D says, I saw Kenny Wayne Shepherd last night. All I can say is I thought I was pretty good on the guitar. LOL. The guy was amazing. Amazing. Think I'll give away my gear. Don't do that, John. Don't do that. Use it as inspiration, man. It's really simple. If you don't practice, you don't get better. I don't practice because I spend most of my time fiddling with gear and guitars, and I should be spending most of my time, the 20,000 hours, practicing. And honestly, if you do that, you will see that it's all a question of, you know, muscle memory and just practice. Dedicate yourself to practicing at least an hour a day if you can. You're going to see the increase of your talents are just going to keep on going and going and going. You know, it really boils down to playing. The guy probably plays every single day, you know, and doesn't stop. Plus, he's talented already. Fat Philosopher says, I was thinking of going on OnlyFans with a guitar porn fetish channel. Don't knock it. You could be onto something. I'm sure there's people that have that fetish. Alexander says, have you not bought a new Gibson before? To be honest, I haven't bought a new Gibson from a store before, Alexander. All the stuff that I buy, most of the stuff that I buy, is used. I tend to go the used market. I'm frugal that way, so I never actually saw one of these. So there you go. There's a first time for everything. I usually like buying used because I like saving that 40% or whatever it is. It's a baby picture, St. Brando says. That's good to know. I'll cherish it. I'll put it with my family album. Quicksilver says, Fat Philosopher, there's a girl who beat you to that punch already. She was a pretty good bassist, but now you see her using her rear as a guitar stand. That's what it comes down to, man. Chris Rock said it. The easiest way is, you know, show your ass, be a victim. That's another good way of getting a lot of views. Or actually, the other way is to actually be good at something. You know, but that takes too much time and work. Nobody wants to do that. I'm venting, guys. I'm venting. I'm allowed, right? Yeah, the baby picture. I got it, guys. I got it. If I buy authentic, yeah. So that picture is worth 40% of the cost I paid. 40 extra percent. I got it for free. That's cool. Greetings from Florida. Nice to see you, Jedi Jingle Maker. Paul says the YouTube channels that are just modelers are still talking endlessly about the Tonex. Now with shootouts. You know, it's going to be the type of thing. I haven't tried the Tonex. I'd like to try the Tonex just to see how it actually, if it's true, what everybody's raving about. But, you know how it goes, guys. There's, people rave about something for about a month and then people forget about it. All that stuff that Fender came out with the the amps that were modeling the deluxe reverb and the Princeton reverb and all that kind of stuff. There was a big hoopla because Fender obviously sent those models to all of the influencers ahead of time. Everybody was talking about it. Yada yada yada. A month later, we forgot what they're even called. This is the world we're living in, guys. Alexander says, if you ask Sweetwater for a deal, it's almost like buying used. They once gave me $800 off a brand new Les Paul. Really? $800? That seems steep. Why would they do that? Was it like an old model they couldn't get rid of, or $800? Well, you walked away with an awesome deal, Alexander. I don't think that happens every day, man. BC Rich 581 said, pared back YouTube channels a lot and channeling into practicing. Awesome, dude. Frustrating for me is playing guitar as a second instrument after 40 years playing bass. I forgot about not being very good at it. Dude, don't worry, man. Just keep practicing. Like Dory used to say in that movie, just keep swimming. Just keep practicing. That's all you got to do. Chris Rock is a comedy god, true, but I didn't really like his. I didn't like his last Netflix special. I watched it. I got a couple of chuckles out of it, but not much. It wasn't as edgy as some of his other stuff was. Quicksilver says, I can't deal with someone else's cootie, so I always buy new. I know other people like that, Quicksilver, and it's a thing, right? It is a thing where people, they won't buy a guitar unless it's like they don't even want something that's on the stand at the store, because people have been playing around with it. They want the guy to go in the back and get a brand new one in the box. Are you like that? There's a name for that. Jedi Jingle Maker says, Addicted to Gear, may I announce a music collaboration opportunity on my channel? Also, yo, Fat Philosopher. Yes, go ahead. Announce it. No problem. Alexander says, the last new Gibson I bought was a Slash Gibson S Paul from Sweetwater for $2,400. Just have to ask for a deal. Well, it's always a good thing to ask for a deal anywhere you go, because there's always leeway. You might only get 10% or 15 or whatever, but hey, it's better than nothing. And you'd be surprised. The music stores are hurting, and I think they're more inclined to give you a deal these days. By the way, I love the rack behind you, very clean and organized. Says a lot about you, clean and organized. Love your stream, man. Great job. You know what? Don't talk too soon, Jedi Jingle Maker, because yes, it might seem clean and organized, but you haven't seen what's on the floor here. There's cables and there's stuff, boxes, and all kinds of stuff here. So, and you can't see what's on my desk either. There's a lot of stuff on my desk right here. So, trust me, I'm not as clean as I look. I agree his firing back to Will Smith was epic, and he deserved to do so. That for him, it's like striking gold. That thing just set up the next year's worth of material for him. And everybody was waiting for it. So it was going to be the type of thing where just say the word and people are going to buy the tickets. So he turned something nasty into something good, at least for his bank account. BC Rich says Fender Acoustisonic series appears to be ready to be dumped in a hole in the desert and buried like Atari carts. I wasn't ever really into those models, and especially after I saw the price, because they had come up with a version which was pretty inexpensive before that. And then they came out with this one and it just skyrocketed. All right, so Steven says if you want to hear some absolutely incredible guitar playing, go to Alexandra Zerner's channel. She won't show you cleavage, but she'll review her gear and teach you some lessons. So I did hear about Alexandra, and she is definitely an awesome player. So if you guys are interested in checking out her channel, please do. Thank you for that, Steven. Thank you for sharing. Jedi says, Goto or Hipshot locking tuners, which is better? I usually go the Goto route just because they're easier to get. I don't think they're better. They're probably equally as good as the Hipshot stuff. I'm not actually a big fan of the locking tuners, to be honest with you. The reason is I usually work a lot on my guitars, and there's reasons for me to have to loosen strings a lot. And when you have a locking tuner and you clip the strings right off at the edge, you don't have a lot of guitar string left. So if you need to take your strings on and off or loosen them on more than a few times, they break. And then you got to change the strings completely. So sometimes what I do is I use the locking tuners, but I actually still wrap the strings around the posts a couple of times just to give me a little bit more string to work with. That's just one of the things that I do. Jeff says, those Gibson pictures, if that's all you had to go on before buying, you wouldn't buy it. Probably not. Paulo wants to know the best affordable and multi-type delay pedal. I like the TC electronic stuff. Not overly priced, very good quality sounds, especially if you use the tone print feature, where you can go on their website and you can actually download via your phone new sounds, new delay settings. They have a whole bunch. So you're typically getting a bunch of effects in the delay pedal, plus you have the tone print slot, and you can actually download a whole bunch of other ones and use them there. So that's the one I've been gravitating towards. I've had one on my board for a long time. It hasn't given up on me yet. All right. So I want to remind you guys to give me a thumbs up if you like what we're doing here on Addicted to Gear and you like the content that we're producing on our Sunday shows, because this is why I do it. I do it for you guys. Giving thumbs up always helps the channel. Of course, you can do super chats, you can do stickers, you can do a bunch of other stuff. Oh, speaking of stickers, you guys have to help me with this one. I actually got a bunch of you know how you can buy swag and stuff. Well, I actually got some stickers made, Addicted to the Gear stickers, that I want to give away or do something with. Not sure what yet. These are not the same stickers you get when you buy them from the link underneath my videos. Those come from another company, and to be honest with you, they get like most of the money. It's really a ripoff for the person advertising them, but what can you do? But I wanted to figure out some way of maybe giving some out from time to time to some of you guys. I don't know what to do yet, but I'll think of something and we'll give those out. I also wanted to talk a little bit about something I picked up. Well, actually, two things I picked up. You guys watched my messy workbench video where I do reviews on guitars that I'm working on. So I'm always looking for cool stuff and tools and things to make my life easier. Jedi Jingle Maker says, play used guitars. It is probiotics. Not even kidding. I get what you mean. I got one of these things. Check them out. You know what this is? If you guys are working on your bench, you need one of these. It's dorky, but it works. I'm going to show you. Watch. Check this out. You put it on your head like that, and you turn it on. Check how bright this thing is. Hold on. Wait a second. Wait for it. Check that out. You have this light, and then you got this light. Well, it flashes if you want to. And you got that one on the other side. So you're like a Terminator, and it flashes and everything. But this thing is great if you're working in a dimly lit environment and you need light. It's always pointing in the right direction. You look like a dork when you're wearing it. Okay, I'm not going to lie. You look like a dork, but it's very handy, and it's got a rechargeable battery on it too. So you're not looking for batteries, and you don't have to run out to get batteries. Just recharge the darn thing. So that's my little tip of the day. If you guys are into that, it is a chick magnet. If you, I'm telling you, man, put on the flash feature and sneak up on the wife, at night when she's sleeping. It's like a rave party under the sheets. I'm just joking, guys. I'm just joking. So that's one of the things I wanted to show you. It's not a snoring collar. Steven says, I'll trade a couple of Addicted to Gear stickers for a custom-made Addicted to Gear wood veneer inlay. Sure, man. Why not? Sounds like a deal. I wanted to talk about something also. This thing here. They're not chiclets. These are pure bone bridge pins that I purchased that I wanted to actually upgrade on my acoustic guitar. So the pins that I have on there right now are plastic. These are bone. They have a little abalone dot on the top. They're a lot more dense, a lot heavier. And I just want to see whether or not they're going to improve the tone, or if I just blew like 25 bucks for nothing on these things. But I'm curious. I got them off Amazon. The brand is Crosby. It's funny how they made the logo kind of look like Gibson. If you look at it from far, it kind of looks like a Gibson logo. But I'm curious to see what improvements they're going to make tonally, and I'm going to be trying that today on my acoustic guitar. I don't know if I'm going to be filming a video before and after or not. I don't think you're going to actually hear the difference all that much on video, so it's kind of futile to do that, but I'll let you know. Mark says, I need one for work. I'm in a dark cave for a 12-hour shift. Mark, are you a miner? What the hell do you do, man? The dark cave? Really? Jerry says, I always use a headlamp when working on my guitar. So I'm not the only one? Exactly, Fat Philosopher. That's the real reason I bought it. You know what? You can turn the lights on, Eddie, but if you're leaning over to what you're working on, you still need some additional light, especially when you're slotting nut slots and stuff like that. It's fine detail work. You need all the light you can get, especially if your eyes are 50 years or older. Rico, I got it on Amazon. You can get that, any hardware store probably will carry it, but you can get it on Amazon. I could start a new band with those. The Lightheads, we'll call them. Joe, if you don't like your neighbors, and if your neighbors talk to you a lot, you just walk around with that thing around the neighborhood a couple of times. You won't have that problem anymore. Steven says, sadly, I was wearing a headlight like that for days trying to clear out a sewer line. I live with two sisters that think the toilet is a garbage disposal. Oh, I get you, man. Sidney Crosby's bones. Could be. Fat Philosopher says, Tony, how consist are you of where you put your thumb on the back of the neck when you play? You know what? They say you have to have good form, and they say you should always have your thumb squarely in the back and play this way, because it gives you the proper leverage. I don't always do that. I just play whatever feels comfortable. I don't really play like this much. My thumb is usually in the back. But sometimes if you do need leverage for a bend, it pops up, you know. Like it's hard to bend like that and keep your finger right in the back of the neck. You need leverage. So my finger, my thumb will tend to go wherever it's natural. But if you're playing like a Spanish, flamenco, that type of thing, jazz, they're sticklers on that. But I think it goes out of the window when you're playing rock. Unless you're dedicated to really developing a really solid finger technique. Charvel Gaming says, which audio interface do you recommend? I'm just using the Focusrite right now, and it seems to be working really good for me. Mark says he works in emergency services. I'm in a dark control center surrounded by computer. Oh, I see. Okay. Well, yeah. It might be a little bit weird for a control center unless you're all alone. If you're all alone, then nobody's going to say anything. John D says, Tony, when you have a strap on, is it neck heavy? That's what I was saying earlier, John. It's not. That's the thing. It's like I was worried about that, but it doesn't seem to want to go down. Kind of like my old girlfriend. But anyway, did I say that out loud? No, I'm just kidding. Alex2112 says, Tony, love your SG. I have a red one as well as the one with the bat wing pickguard from the early 2000s. My best Gibson. Awesome. It's my first one, and it took a long time for me to get one, so I'm happy. Fat Flower says, my thumb pops up when you play the C chord. Yeah, well, that's kind of normal. I mean, you can play it like that, but some people feel it's more comfortable like that. So. So Jedi Jingle Maker says, so far looks like I have 2 great guitarists lined up. Could use several more. I will send you the MP3. You send me back a solo MP3. I feature your playing and your channel in the video. Great idea. I missed it, Jedi Jingle Maker. Okay, I'm going to have to go back and get that. And Paul says his SG has 0 dive. You're lucky. I have tried some. I'm not making this up. There are SGs that are neck heavy. Thankfully, this one isn't. But that's why I bought it. If it did have neck dive, I probably wouldn't. Surfer By says miners go deeper. Mark says it's funny that everyone I know who has an SG says they don't have neck dives. Yet people who complain about SGs and don't have one complain of neck dive. I think maybe it's just one of those things where once upon a time somebody said something, put it out there, and just like the bad monkey, everyone believes it. So, it takes a long time to undo stuff like that. Fat Philosopher says, am I the only one with an SG with neck dive? So there you go. We have a witness. The Miners, good name for a band. There probably already is a band with that name. By the way, it's Steven Tyler's birthday today. The dude's turning 75, and he's still doing it. I wonder if he's going to be, doing it as long as the Stones. I wonder who's gonna call it quits first. It looks like none of these old timers want to hang up their hats. AC/DC, Rolling Stones, Aerosmith, all these old bands. They're like they still one more tour. Now Motley Crue's coming back, and it's like I guess they don't know what to do if they're at home. Or maybe their girlfriends and their wives are driving them batty and they decide it's better to be on stage and on tour. I don't know. I'm not really sure. So there hasn't been anything else announced or leaked on that Harley Benton teaser that we spoke about earlier, except for that video. So they're keeping it under wraps pretty good. At first, I thought it would be, just a new guitar, like a signature guitar or something. But it looks like it's a series of guitars right now. So I'm curious. We'll be back at the at the end of the month to see what. I'm sure we'll be talking about it, and all the YouTubers are probably going to be going gaga over it as well. So should be interesting. Have you guys seen the Epiphone version that they made? An Epiphone Chris Stapleton model. It's a nice looking guitar. It's very country styled. It's USA made, which is interesting because usually the Epiphones are not made in the USA. So it's a signature model, Chris Stapleton, and they call it's the high-end guitar release of the year. No doubt, because the thing costs a freaking fortune. It's retailing at $4,999. I have to chuckle. I don't get it. John D says, I bought 3 SGs and all 3 had neck dive. And Gene says, my SG neck dives because I added locking tuners, but not bad. Yeah, you don't want to disrupt the balance. You don't want to add extra weight here. Because, a couple of ounces more could tip it the other way. What you can do is you can put a couple of coins in the control cavity. Open it up in the back here and just roll up a few quarters, put some tape around them and stick them inside the control cavity, and you can actually balance it a little bit more. Yeah, Quicksilver says, Gene, you can add iron rods to the control cavity and level it off. Little weights, Mark says, my Gibson 60s Tribute has neck dive. So you see there's quite a few people. Yeah, quite a few. I'm surprised. I'm surprised and happy at the same time. Quicksilver says, Tyler hasn't aged gracefully and seems to have had happen in the last 10 years. And seems to have had happen in the last 10 years. Yeah, I've seen some pictures of him recently. He's starting to look like a grandmother. They don't necessarily age gracefully, these rockers, but they've had a hard life. Anyway, so this Chris Stapleton model, I'm actually flabbergasted by the price. Considering it's an Epiphone, it's obviously probably one of the most expensive Epiphones they've ever made so far. $5,000. Are you guys ready to drop $5,000 on an Epiphone? No. If the headstock said Gibson, I bet some of you would, but even at that, I don't think I can justify $5,000 for an acoustic guitar. It's got to be one hell of an acoustic guitar. It's not. It can't just be the equivalent of an Epiphone Hummingbird with a fancier pickguard. They should have a Golden Guys tour. They got to pay for their hips, the hip replacement somehow, right? So those are expensive. So they got to keep going. Rico says, can't believe your countryman William Shatner is 92. Yeah, he's getting up there, man. He's getting up there. It's amazing because we always want to think of these guys as being young, the same youth that they portrayed when they were on TV or when we originally saw them so many years ago on stage. But time doesn't stop ticking for anyone. Jeff says the Iomi SG has a strap button on the upper horn, not the back. Zero chance of neck dive. Yeah, if you put the strap there, you're right. Just shift it over. But I wouldn't want to make a hole anywhere else. I don't like making holes in my guitars. She is. Epiphone is killing right now on the price point versus Gibson. Yeah, but the prices on the Epiphones also went up recently. When I bought my my Epiphone 335, I did buy that one new, and when I resold it, I didn't lose any money because the price had gone up another like $200 in the meantime, and it wasn't that long. It was 6 months maybe. Alex says, I can't believe they want $1,200 for a new Epiphone Explorer Carina. It doesn't surprise me, Alex. I mean, honestly, everything's going up. You're not going to be able to get a guitar under $1,000 anymore. They're getting rare. And I don't know what to do about it, except buy used. I think that's the only way you can get these companies. But unfortunately, you have to hurt the stores before you hurt the manufacturers. If you stop buying new stuff, what's going to happen is a lot of the manufacturers, they're going to feel it only after the stores have gone out of business, So you're really hurting the small guy, the mom and pop store, before you're hurting the manufacturer. But that's why I buy used. I can't, I don't have unlimited funds. If you do, great, but I don't. Eddie says, I'll never buy a guitar that costs more than my car. Exactly. And you can always buy, you can always buy a good, solid, well-built guitar that's maybe not a Gibson or a Fender, but still has good bones, and mod the heck out of it and make it really great. MFN says, Tony, I'm ordering an SG today. Thoughts on Tribute, Special, or Standard? I'd go Standard if you can. I like the Standards. Yeah, Standards are great. This is a 61 Standard, and I like it. I like it a lot. So, exactly, the 61 has a slim taper neck, but it's still comfortable. Like I said, it's very similar to the neck surprisingly similar to the neck that I have on my 335, and it's easy to play. Really nice. I don't know what the 339 neck is like, but this is the 61, and it's very close to my 335. So if the 339 is similar to the 335, then go for this one. Quicksilver says, aren't the Gibson pickups alone $300 plus another $200 for the case? So it's basically $700 guitar. Not bad. You could look at it that way. Inflation does kill. All right, guys. Listen, I've been talking for about an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and 20 minutes. Time has gone by so fast today. If there's any last questions, please ask, because we're going to wrap it up. And we're going to come back again next week, next Sunday, the usual time. I had a couple of things, on the agenda I wanted to talk about, but we can always leave those for next week. It's nothing urgent. But if you have any questions, I'd rather answer your questions first before we talk about other stuff. One other thing I did want to talk, I had to talk about this because it is local to me and in Montreal and Canada. Frank Marino is launching his own hand-built pedal line. Frank Marino is the guitarist from Mahogany Rush, Canadian band that was around quite a while ago. He's probably pushing 60 or more right now. He's had health issues, so he's basically in retirement, but he said he's working on launching his own hand-built pedal line, and he's building them himself. So if you like the sound Frank was getting in the early days, he says he's building the pedals according to his 3 main pedals that he used most of the time live. So if you like those tones, he's going to be building them in his own house, in his own basement, signing them and selling them. So if the price is not exorbitant, not crazy, because we don't know how much he's going to be charging for that kind of stuff, hopefully not the price of a bad monkey, maybe we can check some of those out. He's in Montreal, so maybe I could reach out to Frank and say, hey, you know, I'd love to be able to check out your pedals and see what he says. Who knows? All right. Davis says, thanks, Tony. Please consider staying on every week. I'll do that. Sure. If you guys want, I don't mind. I always have stuff to say. If you guys don't get sick of me, I'm happy to be here and do the live shows every Sunday. So if you guys just dropped in for the first time and maybe you guys were wondering why you couldn't chat, you have to hit subscribe to be able to chat. So I hope you guys got that by now. And I always leave the little comment here on the screen. Please subscribe to chat. Hope you guys know. But I do see some new faces here, so that's always great. And hopefully next week we'll have even more. And we'll talk about some other new stuff. I'll do a video on this guitar eventually. I'll do a full review, sound playing and everything for you guys. Just so, you know, for those of you who have an SG on your radar, it's not a new model. It's been out. There's other videos already talking about this model, but I like to do video reviews on the gear that I have so I can compare it to the other guitars that are in my collection, so it gives you a better idea of what these guitars can do compared to those. So stay tuned for that. If you haven't seen my last couple of videos, take a look at those. There'll be more stuff coming out, and I'll let you know what ends up happening with these bridge pins on my acoustic guitar. I'll let you know if I can actually hear a big difference or if it was just, you know, money wasted. Hopefully not. So if you guys have been waiting for the show to end to go out and walk your dog or smoke your weed or have that beer or go back and continue mowing the grass or whatever you had planned, feel free to do that. But I highly recommend you go and play your guitars if you can. Now that you're pumped and you got your mind full of guitar talk, it's a good time to go and express yourself on your instrument and enjoy the stuff that you love so much. And that's it. We'll be back next Sunday. Sunday, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time is the time. Same place. I usually send out an announcement before just as a reminder. Save your questions for Sunday so that we'll have an interesting group of questions to answer and discuss. And if you're going to be picking up some new gear, let me know. You can always reach out to me in the comment section or by email. I'm always reachable. All right, guys, have a great Sunday. Enjoy yourself. Stay healthy. We'll see you soon. And keep on rocking. Talk to you later, guys.